Welcome and hello, I'm Toasty Data and today I'm going to be here talking to you guys about speed farming. Now I'm not going for the full sweaty try hard as absolute best as I can get, I just want some Nemesis braces and gangs reach. If you're wanting to farm money as well, which I always end up needing gold, just simply put a max level boot order in place into the Stricken and you'll be good to go. You don't need to fish for rifts. I farm with this current setup at, we're farming GR85s easily in like 2 minutes. If you get a really nice map, you can go even faster. But yeah, you don't need to fish for rifts at all, so let's just jump straight into a Nephilim rift and I'll show you guys how effective this God DH setup is for farming. And you don't need godlike rifts, pylon placement, or elites. You just need to effectively just make sure you're staying moving, keeping your momentum stacks up. With the new season coming this Friday, you can very easily take advantage of that 4th cube slot and put Echoing Fury in there for even more speed, which will make it even easier once the season starts. Don't need to stress at all. Grab those, grab the yellow orbs, and just keep moving. Grab any legendaries or the Death's Breaths if you want them. But for strictly farming key purposes, just keep moving once you've got what you need. Even with a bad map like this Cave Spaghetti map, just keep your momentum stacks up, and stay moving and killing. The more density the better. You want to go again as fast as possible after grabbing anything you want, and the more elites the better. Just make sure you're not missing out on any of those orbs, and if you're playing on hardcore, really be certain that those buffs are staying up when you're going into combat or you will die, because this build really is a glass cannon, and you don't want to die just farming greater rift keys, obviously. This build at the moment is honestly probably the most powerful build in the game. As it currently stands, it wasn't nerfed with the new season, which is great news for all the demon hunters. And like me, I hope you're looking forward to the season. I'm definitely going to be pushing leaderboards this time. I finally feel like I've got enough knowledge and enough skill to do that. On the non-season leaderboard, I'm somewhere around rank 200 at the moment, with a GR 110 clear, which sure isn't particularly high, not yet, but we're getting there, and this character is less than 30 hours. There's about 28 hours in this character, so you really don't need to farm for a ridiculous length of time in order to actually feel like you're getting some decent stuff together with this build. It doesn't take long to farm the gear. Getting a really good Amulet of Time. Not Amulet of Time. There we go. The Flavor of Time can be somewhat difficult, but just given enough time, you will get there in the end. You can see that's quite quick, even though we had nothing but crappy maps, hardly any pylons of any use. And we were still able to go very quick. And so, because it's a Nephilim Rift, we can identify, deal with loot if we want to. Because we have the time. Whereas in Greater Rifts, you simply want to repair and go straight back in. I'm not going to bother with putting away that last gem, I'm just going to jump straight into a Greater Rift for you guys. Power it. And this is why we need to farm money, because once we're getting up into this sort of area, the costs start getting gigantic. Very, very quickly. So if you put a Boon of the Hoarder in, by the time you've farmed up a decent amount of keys, you'll easily have 1 billion gold, and so you'd be totally fine to empower all the rifts you want as you keep going. So we're not going to fish for rifts, we're just going to dive straight into an 85. And I'm going to show you guys that this is just fine with my current setup. Keep in mind, I do have augments on on some of this gear. You're going to want to make sure that you can survive and pick the rift level where you're getting through quickly without significant risk to your hardcore character if, like me, you play hardcore. Okay, so this rift hasn't been kind to us so far, but we're still clearing through it very quickly. Make sure to keep those momentum stacks up, unlike me. Was that an elite there I missed? It was. See, there we go. There's some more. Very important to keep the momentum stacks up. Otherwise, you're going to be too slow for effective speed farming. Alright, so we've got a shield pylon. That makes life very easy. Speed pylon early on in the run is very, very useful, especially with the flavor of time, because you are getting 2 minutes of ridiculous speed. So let's just keep pushing along, and we'll finish out this rift. It won't take long at all. We'll probably be a little over 2 minutes at this rate. But that's okay. It doesn't have to... You don't have to stay under 2 minutes for a decent run, so long as you're getting through them as quickly as possible for the maximum number of gem upgrades and maximum chance at really good gear. Because you're going to find better stuff the more you go through more and more greater rifts. And people do wonder what's the best way to farm primals, what's the best way to farm gem levels, and everything that you can do. The most time you should be spending in this game is inside greater rifts. That should be your #1 priority, doing as many of these as you possibly can. Because the speeds that you can get with this Gears of Dreadlands setup is really important. We didn't get a speed pylon this time, but as you can see, we still got a really good time going, and we'll have the Rift Guardian out now. And, well, yep, the Bone Warlock is no real threat to me. There are a few that can be dangerous. There we go, we still did 2.5 minutes with some crappy maps and not great pylons. Speed farming, start teleporting back now as you've got the last 2 upgrades to go, and you'll head back to town. Because if you are speeding greater rifts, you're just going to close it, repair your gear, and jump straight back into it. So that you can farm blood shards, legendaries, potentially primals, gem levels as fast as possible. But that's all for me today. I just wanted to show you guys how I prefer to do these kind of runs. And I hope you come say hi on the live stream. I'd love to see anybody there. It's a fun little community I've got there, and we're growing slowly. But yes, very much looking forward to the new season. I'm going to be pushing for the leaderboards as hard as I can, and the more support we can get, the better. Yeah, for more tips and tricks, subscribe, more videos are coming. I'm working on green screen stuff, working on my microphone working better, so if there's any issues you have, please let me know, and I will try my best to fix them to the best of my... It's been fun, and I will see you lovely people on the next one.